Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Heronbrook Farm Kitchen. It is fantastic to have you here as always, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to give you a behind the scenes tour of the kitchen, and we're going to show you how we set up for YouTube filming. So this is the site you're all pretty familiar with. Me stood in the kitchen, looking towards the camera, with the smoker set up behind me. What I've actually done today is I've set up another camera over there, which hopefully can see me now, because in order to film YouTube videos, we actually generally have 3 cameras on the go. We've got the main camera over here, which you can see, which is the big old Canon 1DX Mark II, and that's got a microphone on, and you can just see the external monitor. And then we've got another camera up here, which is the look down camera. So if I'm working on something here, I can cut in to the camera up there, and you can see what I'm doing down here. It's not quite that straightforward, because that's a little GoPro up there, so it's very, very wide angle. So before I am able to show you the video, it looks kind of like this. And then in post-production, what I do is shrink it down so that it focuses in on what I'm actually working on. You can also see from the side, one of the biggest assets of this kitchen, but also one of the biggest problems when it comes to filming, which is this lovely big window that we've got here. And actually I do most of my work over here, if I'm not filming, at this lovely workbench looking out into the garden and the yard, which is fabulous. The big problem with it is that window throws in a lot of light, and it's very changeable because it's daylight. So what you will notice is that over here we've got this light panel fixed to the ceiling, which what we try to do is to keep the light pretty constant here in the main work area. And then, so that's the main camera over there. We've got the secondary above camera there. And then the third camera, which is here, which actually if I just start filming on that, that's the camera that when you see me go round, if I walk round now and stick something in the oven, if I grab this loaf tin, so this is the camera that I use to film if I'm putting something in the oven, and you've also seen me taking stuff out of the oven. Which is absolutely fabulous. But I also use this camera if I need to move around the kitchen at all. For instance, if we're coming up to the mixer and I want to show you what's going on there, or any of the other stuff. If I'm coming up to the smoker, you've seen those shots before. So we talked a few moments ago about light being a bit of a problem, with it all coming flooding in through that window, which is rather nice, but it does make filming it and trying to keep the light even difficult. One of the other big problems in here is sound, and when we first started and we were just using the GoPro, the sound quality was pretty shocking, to be honest with you, if you go back and look at some of our early videos. So we've worked hard on the sound, trying to get it so that it's a bit easier for you to hear and a little bit clearer. And what we tend to do now is actually record the whole thing twice, which helps, especially if I forget to turn on a microphone, which, as you know, I have done in the past. So there's a big old Rode mic, which you can probably see sat on top of the 1DX, and that is feeding sound directly into the 1DX, which is fabulous. The little camera over there, and a little friend up there, they are also recording sound, so we've always got a backup. And what I've started doing recently as well is wearing a microphone here, and I've actually got a little Roland sound recorder which I keep in my back pocket, which is probably the best quality sound of all. And what I do afterwards is I splice it all together in Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, to make it all sound lovely and peachy for you. So a quick chat about the cameras that we use. I've already explained to you about the 1DX. We also use these fabulous GoPros. These are GoPro Hero 8s. We've got 2 of them. They are absolutely incredible when you consider how cheap they are and how tiny they are. The quality of the pictures that they produce is quite remarkable. We love them. They can be a bit fiddly, and the one that we keep up top here is quite hard to reach because obviously it's out of sight. So I've got a little remote control that enables me to turn it on and off, which is fantastic. So the 1DX, normally on the 1DX, we've got a 16 to 35 millimeter f2.8 lens, which is absolutely cracking bit of glass, and use that quite a lot for photography as well, but it's a fabulous movie lens. We absolutely love it. For filming in here, it's set to about 24 millimeters. When it comes to taking the photographs though, of the food, I tend to swap out for this bad boy here, which is a pretty hefty chunk of glass. This is the Canon EF 50mm f1.2, which is sort of famous for being amazing and beautiful. The great advantage of that is obviously it lets in an awful lot of light, and at a very wide aperture it means I can blur out the background. There's still quite a bit of work to do in improving the quality of the photographs we take of the food. It is something that people do often comment on, how wonderful they look, but at the moment I literally just I bring a board in and I take a photograph right down here on the table. I would like to get something set up in the corner where we can make a bit more of an attractive area to take photographs. So the one final thing in terms of kit I wanted to show you was the little external monitor. You can see me holding the GoPro up to view in it there. It is the one downside of the 1DX Mark II, which, as I say, is the most incredible and fabulous camera, and has just absolutely proved itself time and time again for both video and photography, is that it doesn't have a flip out screen. And so the picture, when we're taking video, is on a screen, a live view screen at the back, but I can't see it from here. And I do need to see what I'm doing, because I do all of these videos on my own in the kitchen, so I need to be able to see whether we're recording, which is quite important, because I've done ever such a lot where I've recorded a piece and I've made some wonderful recipe and then discovered that I hadn't pressed record, so I've had to stop and start the whole recipe from scratch again, which is a bit annoying. But it also gives me an opportunity to make sure that it's focusing, which is super reliable, and as you can see, if I move back out of here, it will track me, and as I move in, it will pick me up again, and I can move around, and it's basically tracking my face, and it does that incredibly. And then finally, I can see the sound levels on the external monitor as well, which gives me another piece of confidence that we're actually recording properly. Okay, so let's talk briefly about editing. We use Adobe Premiere Pro, as I've mentioned before, which is a fabulous piece of software. And what I do is I take the video feed from the main camera, the 1DX over there, and I take the video feed from our friend upstairs, and I take any other video feeds that I have done, and I dump them all into Premiere Pro, and it has a wonderful feature called multi-camera or multi-camera. And what you can do is it essentially enables you to combine clips together into one package, if you like. And then what I can do in editing is, and you've seen me do it on the recipe videos, we can very quickly switch from the main camera to a side camera to the top-down camera in edit, which helps the flow of the film and hopefully helps keep it a little bit interesting. So there we go, that's a quick whistle-stop tour of how we're set up for filming YouTube. It is quite complicated, and you wouldn't believe that 6 months ago when we started, we did the whole thing on one GoPro. So we've certainly come on since then. We've always had a big SLR camera. When I started, it was a big old Nikon D3, but it couldn't take video. So we've traded that in, and we've swapped it for the Canon 1DX Mark II, which I have to tell you is an absolutely fabulous camera, and we absolutely love it. So I hope you've enjoyed following along with this short video today, just showing you the behind the scenes in the commercial kitchen. It's been fun to make, had to really think about where all the different things were and where I'm facing, sometimes even facing up here. It's been a lot of fun, a little bit different to usual. We will be back with a good recipe next week, you'll be pleased to know. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do give us a subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.